every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Oldham's Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. High through the rain, through the fire. This is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. High through the rain, through the fire. This is my club, my only desire.
Hi, good evening, and welcome to the greatest show on earth, the greatest channel in the world, and of course, the greatest program that God ever made. Yes, James was up all night putting this show together, putting it out to all the thunder that we are the greatest team in the world, and of course, I was doing the same. Tequila, bless him, is unwell, and we send our thoughts and prayers to our Simon Jordan at this time, as we need him back, don't we, James? We need Simon Jordan back in the
Yeah.
hot seat, keeping us, keeping us on our toes, to basically.
Yeah,
But
keeping us
how are you,
honest.
bud? Keeping us honest. Anyway, how are you, bud? Long time no see.
I'm-
Great to have you back.
Thank you very much. Good to be back. Good to be back. It has been a while since I last was on. But yeah, I'm well. I'm well. Thank you very much. Not been at work today, and been pretty much. It's been my daughter's birthday, so I've been pretty much spending some time with her and just popping around the house doing dad things, really.
Yeah. Look, it's great to have you back. Look, I want to start the show something serious, guys, and I think it's worth talking about. I won't spend too long on about it, a couple of minutes, and then we're moving on. I did the show last night, and some fella came in who did get banned. Now, a lot of people don't think calling me the word Paddy is racist or it's a slur, but to us Irish, it is. We don't like it, never have, never will. The point I'm making is this channel will not stand for anybody that comes in or is member or non-member or a subscriber or a non-subscriber come in to racially abuse either myself, James, Tequila, whoever comes on this channel will not be tolerated. And to the mods
Or
as
even
well.
anybody in the chat as well, Derm. Or
Yeah.
even anybody in
Yeah.
the chat. It's not
So-
accepted.
It's not acceptable. And also, if you're a mod in the chat and you do see it and we miss it, snip it out straight away. Just block them. No warnings, no nothing. It did upset me last night. But look, I just want to say thank you to Wayne Bonner, who I just got ahead of Wayne Bonner last night, as he says I beat him by a second. But yeah, mods, it's your job also to get the show out there, but also look after the chat and make sure the people feel safe. This is a safe environment for everybody. We all want to do is talk football, talk Tottenham, and that's it. And it needs to be a safe environment. That's enough of that. We move on. James, look, before we get into the Tottenham stuff, the football's been a bit all over the place this weekend, hasn't it?
It really has.
Any football stories that have popped out that you think is worth us mentioning? Do you know, if you look at the Nottingham Forest or the Crystal Palace, the posters they put up about each other's owners, which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah.
We had that incredible match on Monday between Liverpool and Newcastle. Let's start on that first. Liverpool Newcastle very quickly. How much of an impact, how much of a good thing is that for the Premier League, that game on Monday?
I mean, the game itself was a good game. I mean, it wasn't a bad game. It was advertising Premier League football probably at its best. But I think that game was always going to be overshadowed with the
Isaac deal.
The situation with regards to Isaac. Yeah, he doesn't want to play for Newcastle. He wants to get his way out of the club, but he's doing it about it all the wrong way.
Yeah,
but. As a game of football goes, and just as a game of top class Premier League football goes, absolutely amazing. Yeah. Really, really good game of football. Even for the neutral, you could be support. I don't care who you support. It was a good game of football. If you didn't watch it, I highly recommend dig out some highlights. For out there is a plenty. Dig it out, and you'll see it was a really, really good game. So some of the, I mean, at the moment, obviously, most news regarding any Premier League club is all about deadline day, transfer window closing in less than 5 days. I don't really count today; it's nearly over. We've got about 5 days of the transfer window left, and it's just sort of. It's all been sort of about that. Clubs looking at players wanting to leave their clubs, transfer requests being thrown in left, right, and centre by players, clubs demanding stupid money for 21-year-olds, and clubs declining to even speak to other clubs regarding transfers. It's all very transfer orientated, the news that comes out at this time of the year, and it will settle down, and we will start getting proper news and things like that. But at the moment, it is all just transfer orientated.
It's been a weird window from start to finish, and I think next summer's going to be even weirder because of the World Cup. So, how crazy? I mean, look, you look at Isaac, right? And we had our own situation with Harry Kane, didn't we? A couple of years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago, when Harry Kane and the Man City thing, there was a gentleman's agreement. You stay for me an extra year and I'll let you go. Well, they ended up saying an extra 2 years. Look, I agree with Simon Jordan. He signed a 6-year deal. You know, it's down to the club to sell him. He doesn't hold the power, the club do. So, you're the owner of Newcastle, like, you're Eddie Howe. How do you deal with it? Because how do you start to rein in that he's got another group of players to think about? He's got games to think about. He's got players to think about. And you've got one player says, I ain't playing for you. What do you do as manager or owner to that player?
Yeah, as manager is probably very different to owner. So if he's basically declaring he doesn't want to, if he's adamant he doesn't want to play for Newcastle anymore, strip him of his squad number. Don't give him a squad number. Don't register him for the Premier League team, Premier League squad. Don't register him for European competitions, and show him and fine him. Fine him as a player. You are breaching your own contract by choosing not to play for us. Your contract with us as a football club is to play football for us. You are making the decision to not play football for us. So, therefore, you are sacrificing your wages for this until comes such a time as we either A, we sell you, or B, your contract ends. And hit these players where it hurts, because it's I hate to use the word, but it's petulance. It's childish petulance. So the only way he's gonna learn is hit him in his pocket, hit him where it's gonna hurt him for his wages. I mean, I'm under no illusion that if you stop paying Isaac, he's not going to have money to support himself. Of course he is, but football is one of those industries where if you're in breach of your own contract, clubs can take action. Now, as owner of Newcastle, it kind of falls into a different sort of situation because they know what kind of player Isaac is. So as a Newcastle owner, you're going to want top dollar for it. But clubs are going to be looking at how Isaac's handling himself and conducting himself, and are they going to want to then bring in a player that could disrupt an entire dressing room? Because let's be honest, that's what seems to have happened at Newcastle.
Yeah, it is.
They had a pretty poor pretty poor pre-season, and they've had an okay start to the Premier League, but it's only 2 games in. What is it? 1-1, lost 1. So it's one of those. It's like, so I think the owner needs to be realistic. He's not going to get the top dollar, but he's got to be firm in his valuation, but be expected for clubs to negotiate it because they're going to be taking a risk of causing disruption.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's strange as the Isaac one, and I'm glad that nobody is coming in to snap him up and trying to pull him away from Newcastle. I know Liverpool were strongly interested in him, but they seem to be taking more of a backward step a little bit now. They're sort of looking at their team and thinking, is there other people out there that we could sign because that we don't really want to bring this player in? So if the transfer window closes and he's still at Newcastle, that's going to be a tricky situation, and I would not like to be the owner already out in that situation of a player. Really, I don't think I'd like to be.
Let his teammates down.
Absolutely,
He's let his teammates down. They're not going to want him back at. No, look,
and the fans as well, and the fans.
And the fans as well.
You've got to admit. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Monday we'll have an awful lot to talk about because Monday you and me are going to do deadline mania. So look, you and me are going to have an awful lot to talk about Monday. It could be an interesting Monday, actually. To be fair, a lot could happen. It could, but look, more about that. Let's talk about the club we love. Let's talk about Tottenham Hotspur. Let's welcome a few members in, and we've got Giant 68. Big up, Dermo, panel and chat. Big up to you. Big up to Wayne Bonner. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well. Has Lang been given these marching papers yet? And are we still stuck with him? Yeah, we are still stuck with him. We are going to get on about that because we know who's coming back, and we broke it 2-3 months ago. So again, ahead of the curve. Again. Big up to Greg Selner. Evening all. Loser Levy, lackluster Lang out. Yeah, exactly. Wayne Bonner said, yeah, keep robbing that split second in, you cheeky sod. Yeah, I will do and all. He also goes on saying, nice to see West Ham do well in the League Cup. I shouldn't laugh. Potter won't last the season and the Hammers go down. I'm very quickly on that last night. Bowen going over to the fans and wanting to confront fans. From your point of view, fans do have a right to complain. They pay good money to go and watch these teams. All teams play up and down the league.
Yes, they do.
Should players have a bit of a thicker skin when it comes to... They haven't started well. They've lost 2 out of 2. The players are not playing well. So, does he have a right, or did the fans have a right?
The fans have a right. Of course, fans have a right. You've got to think the fans pay the players' wages by putting bums on seats. That is the be up and end of it all. That is the how the cookie crumbles, so to speak. So, as a fan, of course, you have the right to voice your opinion and displeasure how you believe your football club is being run. I mean, we did it last year with Ange. And how he was playing us, and how we were playing, we weren't happy. We weren't happy as fans ourselves. So of course we have a right. And I do think Bowen needs to just, again, have a bit of tougher skin. Yeah. Let your talking. If you're gonna get on your fans' cases, let your talking be done on the pitch.
Yeah,
let your game, your play. Do the talking for you, because let's be honest, as fans, as fans, we are a very fickle bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 week we can be hating a player, the next week we can be loving a player. I mean, it is what it is.
Hello. Who are you and where do you come from?
And he's gone.
And he's gone. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That
we've
was
gone
the
into
mystery man.
we're back studio. We've gone into back studio.
Yeah. Do you want to come on? Let us know in the private chat if you want to come on or not.
It's tequila. I thought
It's
it was
tequila.
no such thing as
Yeah.
codeine. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, is that tequila?"
Are you joining us tonight?
I don't think he is. I think he's.
I've got to fix some things. One sec.
Oh, okay. I'll welcome a few more people in, and then he will be back in with us. Big up to Wayne Bonner. If Isaac refuses to pay the club, then he should refuse to pay him. Big up. Big up to John Fitzpatrick, my Irish brother. Big up to John. Hope you and the family are doing well in Limerick. Big up Dermot, my brother. Big up to you, John Fitzpatrick, as well. We've got the man here going, sup, as you say. Big up the Star Man, the man that wants me to get out my David Bowie albums and start saying Life on Mars. The mouse needed batteries. We'll be listening. Big up Dermo. Big up to you, Star Man. Who else? And then we've got Wayne said, "Evening Tequila. How are you doing today?" Let's start with a little bit of news today before we get into the Thomas Frank Revolution, as I've named this show. A little bit from Fabrizio Romano. He's got a bit of stick actually this summer. Actually, I don't fairly or unfairly. I don't know, but I think it's everyone's own judgment. Jesus v Hamburg get green light from Tottenham for Luca to join club on loan. No buy option, straight loan, as they see a key part of the future project, THFC and the huge talent. James, I don't think we should have loaned him out personally myself, but Tottenham are doing what Tottenham think they need to do. Where are you with this loan? Is it going to benefit him, or do you think he needed a year with the club to stay around the first team and get an odd appearance here and there?
Now, that's a good question. Now, of course, I think it would have benefited him to stay around the first team. But as young players go, he's got immense talent. And the only way he's going to get better as a defender and understand the game better and get his footballing brain really firing is game time. We all know game time makes a player a better player. If you'd have had, I don't know, a prime Maradona and then didn't play him, his form would just nosedive. I mean, he didn't play for a year, and then he got the odd appearance here, there, and everywhere. It wouldn't be. Yes, training is training, and playing for the under-21s, he could have got a game time there. But competitive football, real competitive football, I think it's the right move. Although I don't understand the move, because we're so light on central defenders. And we saw what happened last year with the injuries. It's an odd move for me. And even if we're bringing somebody in, even if we want to bring a centre back in, it's an odd move, because then it just, to me, puts somebody else in the way of his natural progression. So I look, I understand it from a what's the word I'm looking for? Progression and improvement within the player himself, but it makes little sense if we sign another centre back. I think he could have got a lot more game time, keeping him at not a lot. He's going to get more game time at Hamburg, absolutely, but I think it could have benefited him for game time that he would have got at Spurs. Because cup competitions,
it's different league, isn't it? Really, isn't it? It's different. The big up to you, Tequila. How are you, firstly, sir?
Look after your teeth, everybody. Look after your teeth. Brush twice a day.
There's Simon Jordan's word of advice. See, we were saying how much we miss Simon Jordan on the show, and here we go. Simon Jordan appears. Used to own
as if
Crystal
by
Palace.
magic.
Say my name 3 times, I appear. Isn't that what I say? No, that's Candyman. Sorry.
That's the Candyman. Yeah. Look, we were talking about Isaac. We're probably getting that later, but this one from Luca loaning them out. I don't think it's a good idea, Tequila. I think Tottenham should have stayed at Spurs because he would have got more experience. Though James is right. He may get stale just for staying around. Where are you on this? I know Grimsby have just taken the lead against Manchester United. I'm trying not to laugh because Colin's a close friend of ours and we know he's going to be a pain at the moment. But yeah, we will keep you updated.
Wow, I thought there might be an upset on the cards, but apparently not. Grimsby are winning. I'm going to pay for that one, aren't I?
Oh, Lord. I'll protect you. I'll protect you. I can edit that bit out if you want, Tequila.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Where you with Luca being loaned out to Hamburg? Good idea or a bad idea?
If Frank wants to play his 3-5-2, then it's a bad idea. If he is going to stick it for the back, then I think it's okay. That suggests to me we are after another centre half, though, which makes sense if he really wants. If he really wants to employ a 3 at the back, then we will need another proper centre half.
Yeah. I just don't know if it's a good idea, lads. I just think he's capable now of playing in the Premier League, I think. And I think Tequila's right. If we want to play 3 at the back, we're going to need all the centre backs there. What we're left with, a Ben Davies? Come on. I mean,
Ben Davies and Dragusin.
Yeah.
Ashley Phillips has gone out on loan. So yeah, you really you've got 4 centre backs in the squad. Ben Davies, Dragusin, Romero, Van de Ven. I think there might be another youth option there, but I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, it's an odd one.
It is. Also, Tottenham are close to selling midfielder, disciplined by Thomas Frank, with loan to buy transfer lined up. Basuma is close to sealing to Tottenham exit with a loan move to Galatasaray in Turkey, gaining pace after he was disciplined by new manager Thomas Frank. Tequila, look, I'll get to you, James, because I've got a separate question for you, and I've got a separate question for Tequila. I know you don't like talking about him, but I am going to bring him up, Tequila. Do you think that was one of Ange's downfalls last season by not taking Basuma more seriously and disciplining him more seriously, especially with the dive in at Luton and then the balloon thing at the start of last season? Do you think could this all been avoided if he disciplined him properly the first time around?
No.
Right.
No. Because he had trouble at Brighton. So I remember when we signed him at Brighton, I remember thinking to myself, why Brighton and letting him go? If he was too good a deal, right? Why is Brighton so quick to let him go? There's some reason that Brighton don't mind losing him, right? And I think we're seeing why is that even though he is a talented player, he got a lot of baggage with him. I'd suggest he probably doesn't keep the best of company, hence all the stuff that happened in that, where was it, in a nightclub or something?
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. So there was something already to do with maybe the company he was keeping. He seems to have retained those friends, him and the idiots doing the balloon stuff. So obviously he hasn't got a very good support network in place for a professional footballer. And that's carried him over into his Tottenham career. So I blame Andrew for a lot of stuff, and rightfully so. But I think also Andrew's putting into a position where our midfield was so crap last year that he had no choice but to keep. He couldn't afford to not play Basuma.
Yeah.
Now we've got Palhinha in. Basuma goes further back. And I think Basuma is one of our worst midfielders now. But let's be honest. When we all signed him from Brighton, we all thought we were getting such a great player because he played so well against the snippets of times he always played well against us.
He did.
So that's why we thought we were getting a world beater when actually we weren't.
No.
And you want to know who the first person who figured that out was? Antonio Conte. That's why he didn't play him at the start. He realised it right away. Hold on a sec.
Yeah.
This guy ain't all that. Right away, Conte knew. I trust Conte's judgment of players over most of the managers we've had, to be honest. So he knew right away with Bissouma. That should have been a warning sign for everyone.
With the midfield, I look to Kelly. You make some very good points there. I mean, James, with the midfield, we do have a Bentancur, Palhinha, Bergville, Papa Sarr. Do you feel like midfield is now matured? It's maturing, and Bissouma really. We need to get rid of Bissouma because of the bad influence within the group, with the younger players as well, like a Bergville and an Archie Gray and players like that. Do you think Thomas Frank has now said, right, I'm sorry, you need to go because you're going to be a bad influence on these younger players that are coming through?
Possibly, very much so. Possibly. I think Thomas Frank Thomas Frank knows what he wants, and with it, look, if you've got a new manager that's come in and within 6 weeks of him being in there, you're being pulled in and being disciplined by the club over your behaviour, it's not exactly a good look, is it, really?
No.
So, and thinking about it realistically, if we were looking at players that we could have sold from our midfield, Bissouma probably would have been one, but I would have probably said, yeah, we could probably get rid of him. Look, I'm a Football Manager player. I know Tequila knows I'm a Football Manager player. We've had a few discussions. And to be fair, Bissouma is usually one of the first players I'll turf out of my Spurs team. And get rid, and I will literally sell him for whatever I can get. I never rated him. It's one of them. I agree with some of the comments. With he's a hit and miss type of player. Starman says he's a hit and miss type of player, and I agree. He is very hit and miss. Sometimes he can turn up and he can be absolutely phenomenal, and you think, where the hell has this Bissouma been? I think it was the Europa semi-final when we were playing Bodo. He was phenomenal, and I'm like, where's this kid been all season? And then the very next game against Crystal Palace, he was completely woeful.
And I was there at that game. And I saw how he was dreadful. He was absolutely dreadful.
Didn't track back, didn't really didn't do any work or anything like that. I've just seen it go through the chat. Dave Ginola says that Grimsby are now 2-0 up against Man United.
I'm actually putting it on my other monitor at the moment. Yeah, I can confirm. Can I tell you who's in goal for United, by the way?
Go on. And
I tell you, our column is going to be doing his absolute not at the moment. Onana.
We've got Aaron Maguire in goal.
No, Onana's in goal. He's just came for a ball and he's went to punch it and he's totally missed it. Completely. Absolutely completely. So just very quickly on this, guys. Just very quickly on United losing. Look, we're after Mainu. There's a report that Mainu's could be up for sale. But Amaron, is he going to be the first manager to get the sack, him or Potter?
Graham Potter.
Tequila?
Potter. Potter's screwed.
But if United lose this, would this put on Amaron under a lot of pressure at United?
No.
I think Amaron's got grace at the moment.
Yeah.
It's going to be about the league position with him, isn't it, this year?
Yeah. I don't think it's about the cup competitions. I think it's all going to be about the league. I do want to just backtrack through some of the comments. What's the point? FC did come up saying that Luka Vuskovic will have wasted 3 years of his contract by the end of next season. I think that's who he was talking about, because that's roughly when we were talking. It's not actually true. What's the point? Because he actually only officially joined us this year. We agreed to sign him. His contract didn't start when we agreed to sign him. He was bought and basically loaned back to the club that we allowed to continue his development at the club, and his contract officially started with us this season, we was just paying his wages. He didn't actually technically contract begin until, because it was the same with Lucas Bergvall. Because when we signed him, he was under the age of 18 and they're not legally allowed to leave the country until they're over the age of 18. It's funny. It's a weird way of getting around it, but that's basically what happened. Is that we were paying the wages for him to play for another club, although he didn't actually technically start his contract until this year.
Yeah. Big up to everyone in the chat. Please like and subscribe if you can. Also go over to the Play Pouch and put a little subscribe in there for Tequila if you can, because I'm sure he would really appreciate that, guys. His gaming channel. Guys, this is at the moment the most up to date wages that Tottenham players are on. Now, James was speaking to me today, and he said that Tottenham's wage to
turnover
their income is 32%. Now, to people like Tequila, who are very much Levy out, and to other people as well, I mean, guys, where are you on this? 32%. I think you explained it to me, wasn't it, James? For every 100 million we spend, 32 of that.
No. So it's a bit different. So every £100 million profit that we make, you can write off 32 million in the players' wages. So if we made as a club 200 million, 64 million of that is player wages. It's not, but that's roughly how you work it out, your percentage to your income.
Yeah.
That's where it would be. It's the figures that it's easier to make sense of. So it's how we it's just the way I worded it was just so it would make sense. So if we made £100 million profit, £32 million of that profit would go out in player wages.
And
it's not
what the manager as well, doesn't it?
That's managers, backroom staff. That is the running of the football club's wages. It doesn't kind of work out like that, because obviously you have players who are on higher wages and players who are on lower wages. If you were to looking at that graphic that we've got up now, Dermo, I'm really glad you put it up actually. That you look at some of our bigger players, and our highest earner is Christian Romero at 200,000 now. And someone like Vicario, 75,000. Mickey van der Ven, for Christ's sake, up his contract, 50 grand a week. Yeah. It's peanuts. Somebody will come in and offer him big money and it'll turn their heads. And this is why Spurs struggle holding on to players, because we take the mick out of them with wages. I mean, in comparison as well, chat, just to give you a comparison, right? So Spurs this year is roughly at the moment around about the 32% mark. Aston Villa, their wage to turnover budget is 96%.
Yeah, but
so for every 100 million they're making, 96 million pound of that is gone on wages. So they're making £4 million profit out of every 100 million pound.
Yes. I mean, Tequila, where are you on this? I mean, I think I'm with James. It's shocking some of these wages some of these players are on. Mickey Van, 50 grand.
If I'm Mickey van der Ven, I can't wait to leave this club, because that suggested to me that he's not respected. Why haven't they offered him a new contract? Looking at that, considering how considering how important he was, especially under Angie's system for us, right? Remember that our form kind of ticked off a lot whenever he wasn't in a team. This is how crucial the man was, and I would say that whenever he was out, he was a bigger loss than Romero was. And look at the difference. Romero's on 4 times his wage. If I'm Mickey van der Ven and if I ever see these numbers and I can see that these are, if I knew for sure that these are actually in the right ballpark, I'm onto my agent right away and saying these guys give me a new contract or I leave, because that's just disrespect. That's just no respect for Mickey Van der Ven now.
It is. I mean, is there anyone there, Tequila, right? And you're all going to get one player. So have a think. And the chat as well. I've got one player that you can get rid of. Out of that squad, Tequila, which one player would you say, right, you're going, but I'm going to give your wages to like a Mickey Van der Ven? So who would that player be for you?
Richarlison.
So how much is Richie on?
90,000.
Rich is 90 grand.
90 grand.
I know everyone's going to say, "Oh, how can you say that?" Look, he's had 2 good games. He's had pretty much 2 good games out of how many years? So come on.
How many times have I complained about him on the watch along?
We all have because Norman. If he's not injured, then he doesn't perform well. He's going for look. If he does this all year, I'll shut up. If he does this all year, I'll shut up.
Same here. I mean, you look at
this is what I mean. Starman saying Rich is on form.
Yeah,
okay. He's had a couple of good games. I'm talking about his whole career, not just 2 games, bro.
It's not about what he can do over a 6 month, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's longer than that. It's not just 6 months. I mean, you want consistency every year. Those are the real class players. And Richarlison, for me, has never his highest goal tally. I think was 13. His best ever year at Everton was 13. So he's never ever been a 20-goal striker. And
is he a winger or a striker in your opinion, guys?
Neither. I don't think he gets enough goals to be a striker, and I don't think he's good enough on the ball and technical to be a winger. So,
James, where are you on it? I mean, Tequila does make some good points. Starman does come back and say he done well for Everton when they needed him.
13 goals, like I said, but 13 goals is the max he ever got, bruv.
Yeah,
we paid 60 million for him. 13 goal was the best he ever got. So that's his ceiling right there.
Yeah. So, what's your opinion on him?
What on Richie?
Yeah.
I agree. I would probably cut. I would cut bait on that one. But if I was to choose a player out of all them and give the money to Mickey Van der Ven, I'm good. Now you think you were going to be hated in chat, Tequila. So I would go with James Maddison.
Well, that would make a point. He's out all season. He is injured,
and it's nothing to do with the fact that he's out all season, but he's a liability. I see him as a liability. His injury record last year. He's injured and he's out all season this year. When he was in the team last year, he again very much like Bissouma, hit and miss. Some games could play phenomenal and score a worldie, and then the game after, I'm not about it. And I think for the money that he's on, I think there was far better number 10s out there. Far better.
I think. Look, you look at the 2 strikers we do have, Richarlison and Solanke. I think we can do so much better. I mean, Tequila, you and me were so underwhelmed by that Solanke signing, weren't we, the day that he was bought? And we were told, yeah, he will come good. He hasn't really come good, has he? So,
not really.
I mean,
not for that price tag, no.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys another question then, right? You're Thomas Frank. You've just been given the Spurs job. So I'll go to James first because Tequila, I think you went to you first last time. Give you a bit of time to think about it. James, you're Thomas Frank. You're coming and there's your squad. Which players do you keep and which players do you sell? So go through that whole squad. Who do you keep? Who do you sell? Guys, get in the chat as well. Have a bit of fun with this. Get involved. So, James, who do you sell? I'll go last because I think that's fair.
Okay.
When you go.
Right. So I would sell Maddison. I would sell Richarlison. I would sell Dominic Solanke. I would sell Ben Davis. I would sell Brennan Johnson. I would sell Bissouma. I would sell Brian Gill and Wilson Odobert. I would sell Manor Solomon. Yeah, I would gut that team. I would take anything for any one of those players. I would take 10, 15 million pounds for each of them. Ben Davis, I'd take hundreds of thousands. I'd take maybe 200, 300,000 at best. Manor Solomon, a couple of million. Wilson Odobert, a couple of million. Bissouma, I'd give away. Brennan Johnson, I'd give him away. There's Dominic Solanke, 10, 15 million at tops. Richarlison, 10, 15 million at tops. James Maddison's probably the only one with any kind of inherent value, but that's not much. 20, 25 million. And I would invest. That is what that squad needs. And looking at that squad needs investment.
Yeah, it does. I mean,
because if you look, you look at those player ages as well. You take away the wages and everything like that. You look at those player wages. You look at those player ages, and look at a starting 11 player ages. They're all the wrong side of 25.
Yeah, they are.
Romero, Maddison, Palhinha, Kudus, I can grant he's 25. Decky, 25. I'm all right with that. Richarlison, 28. Solanke, 28. Porro, 26 is okay. Matisse, Bentancur, 28. Vicario, 29. Goalkeepers are a bit different. They don't really start into the peak till probably where Vicario is now. So you can kind of get away with Vicario being 29. Ben Davis, 32. Brennan Johnson, yes, he's only 24, but I just, no. It's just, to me, he's had too many chances. Bissouma, 29. Danso, 27. There's too many players pushing that bracket. If you are going to build a team with youngsters, build a team with youngsters and build your squad with youngsters. But you've got Manor Solomon, 25. Brandon Austin, who's been with the club for years and years and years. And I feel sorry for the bloke. But he's 26 now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's got... I mean, I think he's sticking around because he probably knows no other club's going to pick him up.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're not. It's quite funny, James. Right.
Go on.
Look at Brendan Austin, right? Look how much he makes a year, 780k. That should tell you all you need to know that you can be a millionaire and not do any work.
Yeah.
Brandon Austin is a millionaire, right? More money than probably anyone watching this show is ever going to get in their lives. To do what? Train?
Sit on a bench, train, maybe play odd under 21 game. Or probably plays under 21 games.
No, he doesn't. He's a full-fledged first-team player. He doesn't play. At the moment, the under 21.
I didn't know if he was part of the because I know you can play so many overage players. Is it 3 or 4 overage players?
Yeah.
It's Gunter. Gunter is the main goalkeeper now for the under 21s. As crappy he was against Crystal Palace. Don't make me go back to that game. Oh, that's a game I like to wave out of my memory. Look, Tequila, I am going to defend Brennan Johnson here because I think he gets an awful lot of heat, and I really do think he gets an awful lot of heat from fans. I don't think a winger is his position. I think there is a position for him, but it's about finding the right position for him. I would agree with most of what you said, James, for the most of the players you said get rid of. I would do. But Brennan Johnson, I like Brennan Johnson, so maybe that's why I'm going to stick up for him a little bit and think that maybe he could play in that 10 role or that second striker role where he's the runner, that you got a player that sits behind the striker, and Brennan Johnson sits as the forward striker. All he's got to do is sit in the 6-yard box and just be there and do the tap-ins. I think he's good at that. Tequila, where are you on it? I think you and James will be on the same wavelength, I would think. Is there any other players that you think, do you know what? I don't think we should have got him.
I look at the squad as I'm seeing it now, full screen. And the first thing is, it's like, if Spurs' ambition is to do a title challenge, I know everyone's laughing, so am I. This is what Levy said. Then maybe one player out of this whole team I'm looking at, do I believe could maybe start for a team that would win the title. And that's me pushing, and that's probably Romero at a push. No other player that I'm looking at here will ever get into a title winning side. And also, I don't think there's any player here who has the potential even in the future to do it. The only one that's maybe making me question that is Mickey van der Ven. That's
Then
it.
my que-
For a title winning side, for a top 4 side, a bit more flexible. But even for a top 4 side, I'm thinking 5 or 6. And that includes the younger players who might have potential to get there. I look at someone like Tell, right? That's a travesty that Mateus Tell is on 80 grand a week. To do what? What has he done? Tell me what has he done? He scored one volley last year that I remember. What has he done? Tell me what else he's done.
Yeah. Can I just say it is half time at the Man United Grimsby game? It is Grimsby 2, Manchester United 0.
You better,
I'm not going to laugh.
You better get on the phone, James, to call him after this and took him off a ledge, bruv.
Yeah. I'll give him a text and find out if he's feeling all right.
Yeah. Look. So, Thomas Frank's come in. He's been given this squad, guys. And this is the squad he's got to deal with. But it is about the Thomas Frank revolution. We are going to talk about Thomas Frank. And this was the second thing I come up with. I wanted to go over the 3 formations of the 3 games for Thomas Frank. We've looked at the squad. We've got the squad or whatever. The players that are good enough are not good enough. James, you're the tactics guru on this channel. So we've got 3 games for you to explain to us the Thomas Frank tactics for each game. So we're going to start with PSG against Spurs. Tequila, but before we get you tactics, because you're the main one, just very quickly, Tequila. Again, what was your thoughts about this game? Just very quickly before we get to the tactics part of it.
Well, against PSG,
yeah,
I like the formation, and the formation makes sense for the personnel we've got. We just don't have enough centre backs to play this all year.
No.
But considering our lack of wingers, other than Kudus, I think Kudus is the only decent winger we've got. I'm being honest. So if you've only got one decent winger, then you shouldn't play a 4-3-3, should you?
No, that's true.
So you have the whips coming from Porro and Spence, who, by the way, were both wing backs. Destiny also was a wing back when he Udinese. They were bought for Conte's system, and don't say they weren't. Yes, they were. Go check yourselves when they were bought. They were bought for Conte. All 3 of them were bought under Conte's watch to play in Conte's 5-3-2. They were bought for that system. So I'm not shocked that they will excel in this kind of system because they're wing backs. They're wing backs, so the whips will come from them. So I like that formation, but we haven't got the centre halves to play it.
But you were impressed with them playing their normal position, weren't you? You kept saying to me, you're putting them.
That's what they were bought for.
Yeah, that's true.
Why did Paratici scout out and Ndoghi from Udinese in the Italian league? Why was he scouted? We bought him in. We loaned him out to Udinese for 1 more year, right?
Yeah.
And by the time he came in, Conte was sacked.
I know.
But he was scouted to fit. He was scouted as a left wing back for a 5-3-2.
Yeah. James, tactics. This is your area. I'm totally a novice. So explain to the people why Thomas Frank started the team that way against PSG.
Very much like what Tequila said, though. Porro and Spence gave us the width, and they have the mobility to be able to plough up and down those wings and give us the width. The back 3 of Danso, Romero, and Van de Ven. You've got the strength and stability of Danso and Romero and the speed and agility of Van de Ven to make the running covers. But having those 3 as sort of a rigid back line gives the wing backs the confidence to push up and know that if we get caught, I've got cover with those 3 being back there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have to worry about busting a gut to get back, even though they were doing that and busting guts to get back. They didn't, if they were tired, they knew they still had that strength behind them to be able to cover the balls over the top behind as if they were pushed up the field.
Yeah.
I think it was a very, very tactically astute move by Thomas Frank when he did this, because let's be honest, how many of us would have said Thomas Frank's first game in charge against PSG is going to play a 3-4-1-2. because that's how I see it.
Yeah.
That's how I see that formation. People
Yeah.
will call it a 5-2-1-2, but I see it as a 3-4-1-2. You've got three centre backs, 4 across the defensive midfield line, acting as wing backs. Obviously, Spence and Porro. 2 DMs in Bentancur and Palhinha. Then you've got the advanced forward of the number 10 role in Papsar. And then you've got the pressing forward of Kudus, and sort of Richie is more of like an advanced or deep line forward, sitting just in between Sarr and Kudus. I wouldn't have called that. I know my tactics. I've looked at Thomas Frank's tactics from his times at Brentford. I would not have called him starting that in a million years. I would have always thought he was going to probably deploy a 4 at the back system.
Yeah.
But
performance-wise, though, James, it really proved, didn't it, how well that he can manage at the higher level. There was a lot of people saying that he couldn't do it. A lot of people say he's going to be found out. Do you think Thomas Frank came of age that night as well in that Super Cup final for the way that he outclassed a manager that's won the Champions League, that manages a team that wins everything in front of them? He outclassed them, and they did say Tottenham should be the winners that night. We were lucky to win. Yeah,
we were unlucky not to win that. I think a lot of it was tiredness, probably, and we just switched off a little bit. As for Thomas Frank coming of age, no, I think he came of age at Brentford. I think he came of age at Brentford, and it was, I think, look, when we sat down and we were linked with Thomas Frank, I will hold my hands up and say I wasn't a big fan of the appointment. I wasn't. I made it very clear on abundance of streams we should have been more ambitious in what manager we should have been trying to get into the club. I will. I'm also going to hold my hands up and say after the first 3 games, I was probably wrong. I might be proved right at the end of the season if he gets found out, but I think Thomas Frank sort of learned his trade and came of age, so to speak, at the Brentford, and now Spurs are going to benefit from having the best version of Thomas Frank.
Yeah,
because
I think so.
What he did with that Brentford team was nothing short of miraculous. Working on a shoestring budget, working with, let's be honest, not world-class players. I'm not saying Spurs have got a squad full of world-class players. There's 1 or 2 that could be classified in that region of world-class players. Not many, but 1 or 2. And I think, given time and, heaven forbid, backing in the transfer window, I think he could take Spurs to another level.
Yeah. Now, move for 3 days on, guys. We were at home to Burnley. Tequila, we all expected to beat Burnley, didn't we? And coming off that Super Cup sort of defeat, which was a tough one to take, so I think we deserved to win it. I think we were the better side that night, bar for the last 10 minutes. He now picks a different formation. We get James to go over the formation, why he picked a different formation, but he picked 3 young guns in the middle of the park. No Bentancur, no Palhinha. He started with Gray, Burville, Sarr. You watched the game. That was due to us do our first watch along, but my PC decided to say I'm going to have a mare and not work properly. So there's me running around like a headless chicken. But you did watch the game. I caught the game because it was live here in Ireland on Premier Sports. What was your thoughts then in that second game, Tequila, with Thomas Frank? And look, I want to put it out there. I wanted Thomas Frank to come in before we got Ange. I was always a big Thomas Frank fan. I thought he would always do a good job. But were you starting to get on board with Thomas Frank then after the Burnley game, Tequila, or were you on board before the Burnley game?
I wasn't really on. I'm still not on board. I don't jump to conclusions after 3 games. I understand what you're asking me, but the thing is that And I agree with James. Right, when Thomas Frank was first announced, I was like, "All right." That was my reaction.
Oh,
I was so desperate.
Underwhelmed.
I was so desperate to get rid of Ange. To be honest, I would have taken many worse managers than Frank, and I would have accepted it just because I considered it an upgrade. But he certainly would have been very far from my first choice. And I do still have question marks over his ability to manage at the tippy top level. To do for us, because we're not a tippy top club, and I'm going to get hatred for that as well. But we're not at the top of the table. We're the tier below. So to become tippy top, loads of things have to happen. Is he the man to take us there? I have my doubts about that. But for now, for this year, for what we need now, I think he's a good appointment. I don't think he's going to take us. This whole messiah that we seem to think we're going to get, I don't see him as being any messiah. That doesn't mean I think he'll do a bad job. But if people think that he's probably going to take us to winning the league, if that still is the goal, and I don't know what Spurs fans expect anymore, to be honest. If that's still the goal, I don't think he's going to do that because it would be a minor miracle for Spurs to win the Premier League, right? A minor miracle. So much would have to happen, which is not in his control, both financially and to do with the owner. So much stuff would have to happen to even get us into the conversation. So if that's what we're judging him on, Dermot, this is what I mean. Is I don't know how you want to judge him. Is he good enough to get us into the top 4? I'm not sure about that either. I think he'll get us into the top 6, and it might not be this year, by the way, not with this transfer window. It might not be this year, but I think that he can raise his game, but I don't know if he can become tippy top.
Yeah,
there's very few managers who are, we're talking about what Klopp, Mourinho, Ferguson. Is he going to become? Most never ever hit those heights. If it was easy to do, there'd be lots of them, but there isn't. You can count maybe on 2 hands these legendary managers. And the thing is, for Spurs to win the Premier League, especially under Arsene Wenger, he would have to be a legendary manager. You ratted on Ange a lot, not on Ange, on Poch a lot, and you were right. He's been our best Spurs manager since I've been a fan of Spurs. He has been our best manager, and he couldn't get the job done because he wasn't quite good enough. I don't think Frank's good enough. I don't think Frank's better than Poch.
Do you think Frank will lay the foundations then for the new manager to come in to build on that? Do you think he's now going to come in and say, right, I'm going to do all the graft here? Look, like it or not, Ange built the foundations, right? So if you're looking at it that way, then James, I will come back to it because I've got a different question for you, Tequila. But if you look at Frank, he's come in. Ange built the foundations by winning the Europa League. Frank's out come in to build the house. Now, I'm lucky enough to see Keith Birkinshaw, who was our manager back in the 80s, and he got Tottenham relegated. Brought them up the following year. Had to wait another 2 or 3 years and then won 2 FA Cups and the UEFA Cup. So is it all about being at the right place at the right time? And also, like Birkinshaw was a trainer. He wasn't a manager. He was an assistant manager at Newcastle. He came to Spurs to be an assistant manager at Tottenham. He then got the gig when Terry Neal got sacked and he took Tottenham down, but got them back up. Thomas Frank, again, you see, like is it? Do these managers work then, James? Do these managers that are not world-class managers, but they can do a lot more than what world-class managers can do?
World-class managers demand world-class players.
Yeah.
Pep Guardiola, world-class manager, wants world-class players. Jurgen Klopp, world-class manager, wanted world-class players. Alex Ferguson, exactly the same. Fergie's difference is he was also very astute at recognising the potential in players. Or he had a very good backroom team in recognising what youth could bring. What I think you made a very interesting statement with saying that Ange laid the foundations for Thomas Frank. I don't think Ange laid the foundations for anything.
I agree.
I think, and this is just my opinion, I think what Ange did was he came in and was trying to hold up a house that was falling down. And the collapse in the league, and I agree with Starman saying that we got lucky winning the Europa League. I don't think we
did.
got lucky. I don't know. I don't think it was luck. I think that would describe something that says that we were lucky to beat the teams that we were lucky to beat in all the rounds. I don't think it was all luck. I think we rode our luck in certain games.
Which you need.
And we got lucky in certain games. But I think that team was strong enough to win that competition. It just didn't seem to make sense as winning that competition with how piss poor our league form was. Yeah. I think Ange basically was found out and was exploited, and everybody knew how to beat us. And it was only the European teams that didn't really know how to beat us because we played so differently in European competition.
We did.
So I think that's why we won that league. But I do not think Ange laid the foundations.
I want to clarify.
I don't think any manager has laid any foundations for the previous manager. Because if you look at the teams, if you go back through our last few managers, and you look at the players that we had and who've now moved on or have been released by the club, every manager wants the different type of player to fit their system. I don't believe Ange got the players to fit his system. No. I don't think Conte had the players to fit his system. I don't think Mourinho had the players to fit his system. And probably one of the few managers that did have players that fit his system was Pochettino. He took us to the top four numerous times, and he took us to a Champions League final, but he failed in getting us over the line.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Demo, can I want to challenge James on one thing.
Yeah.
I think there's one exception to the rule, and I'm going to say this name, and maybe it's just how I felt at the time. I think the one person who did leave foundations was Harry Redknapp.
Yeah.
Yes. 100% agree.
Yeah.
He was the only one.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I didn't go as far back as Harry, but yeah, I completely agree. Harry Redknapp.
He's the last one. He's the last one I can think of. He's the last one I can think of.
For me, the last one who led foundations for me was Keith Birkinshaw. I think he left foundations for me. And that's me going way back to the 80s, and then we had Peter Shreves come in, then David Pleat come in. Every manager since Keith Birkinshaw has struggled in one way or the other, either with the owners not backing the managers properly, with not buying the right players for that manager. And I think we can all go all the way back to 84. You look, did Terry Venables get the players he wanted for under Scholar for his teams? No. Did Alan Sugar ever back any of the managers we had under Alan Sugar? Not really. No. Has Daniel Levy backed any manager under his tenure? Not really. So am I right to say Keith Birkinshaw was the last manager that was backed with the players he wanted? And that was back between 1977 to 1984. I mean, that's a shocking indictment of every owner that's owned our football club from then to now, that no manager has really been backed.
I think also you got to look, Demo, it's the changing culture as well. So the CEOs, that word wasn't even around probably when Birkinshaw was around. The CEOs of these companies and the way that they're run, right? And these massive financial juggernauts and these massive companies like Enoch, they're not all massive, they're not all privately owned companies and stuff like that. But it's back then, and I think Ferguson was the last person I can think of who had so much power as a manager inside that club that he more or less ran Man United. I know that he didn't, but he more or less did run Man United.
He did. He ran the football inside of the club.
Yes, he was everything. He was the manager and the coaches, and did all the transfer policy back when the manager was just that. So going further to back, like with Keith Birkinshaw, he had probably so much more power than any Spurs manager has probably had ever since, and that also has to be taken into account as well.
And also, everybody in that football club knew they were worth something. You look at Man United, from the tea lady to the receptionist to the people that clean the kits,
Changing rooms.
everyone felt part of that football club. I don't know how to take. You do look a bit like when I watch.
I feel sorry for you because he's getting it off lots of different people now. So now he's going to start believing it because he's getting it off so many different people now. He's
do you know what? I actually watched everything at the weekend, and I thought it was James on the pitch at one point. I did. I was watching. I went, "There's James. He's coming on against." I think, what was it?
I'm gonna cut my hair. I'm cutting my hair.
Leeds. It was the Leeds game, Tequila. I was watching it right, and I thought, that's fucking James coming on to the bit. What's he fucking doing?
James, if it makes you feel better, I know more than one or two ladies who think Jack Grealish is quite handsome. So you're doing all right, mate.
You're doing all right. I know one or two people on a certain channel that like Jack Grealish. You're doing very well. Yeah. Sorry. Right. We're moving on very quickly. Let's move on tactics. Bournemouth, Burnley. First game of the season, James. He started with an amazing 3, Gray, Bovell, Sarr. Explain to us, what was Thomas Frank thinking here for this game?
If I had that answer, I'd be a manager myself. But what I think he was probably thinking was, let's give these young guns a go. Let's see how well they can play and run that midfield. Because the way I'm thinking, and I'm thinking like how probably Thomas Frank was thinking, is that this midfield 3 is more than likely going to be my midfield 3 after Champions League games. Because I can't expect a 30-year-old to play 2 or 3 times a week. I can't expect Benton Kerr, who's very much not 30-year-old, he's only 28, but he will know, Thomas Frank will know his injury proneness and his knees and everything like that. He's going to not want to push it so Benton Kerr goes into full breakdown mode and we start on the injury front again. So I think his thought process behind this sort of midfield 3 was, how well can these guys play? Can they hold a Premier League team? And yes, Burnley had just come up, before anybody jumps on my cases, but they're not a Premier League team. They are a Premier League team. They played in the Premier League before. They're back in the Premier League. They're a Premier League team. Do they have Premier League caliber players? Possibly not. But it was a test, I think, to the youth of our midfield. Because me personally, that's the future of our midfield. Right there. Gray, Bergvall, Sarr, that's the future of our midfield. It may change because we may sign and we may sell thingy, but that is what I think Thomas Frank's looking at of the future of his midfield if he sticks around for 4 or 5 years. Kudus out on the right, Johnson on the left, and Richie up front. I mean, I was blown away by Kudus in that game. I think he was absolutely phenomenal, and I think he's going to be a really good fit for Spurs down that right hand side. Johnson got his mandatory tapping, so enough said on that. Richie scores 2 worldies. Where they came from, I don't know. Maybe he's just had them locked in his pocket for years. And just thought, right, now's the time to take him out, because that's what I think Rich is trying to do. He sees like what Bissouma's not done. New manager coming in, let me show this new manager, this is what I'm about, this is what I can do, this is what I can bring to the club. Rich has done that. He's saying like, look at me. You don't need a striker. Look, this is what I can do. Whereas Bissouma's gone completely the opposite direction. But again, the strength and solid Romero Van de Ven partnership at the back, and Porro and Spence allowing Kudus to drift forward and support Richie, allowing Johnson to cut in and get his tap in, them still being able to give you the width, but having the mobility of having Gray and Bergvall sitting in front of Romero and Van de Ven. having that speed, having that ability to be able to push about and just basically cover a lot of ground. It kind of says that this was a very sort of mobile team in its ability.
It was.
Eyes.
No, it was, and you made a lot of good sense there. Look, tactics better than me and Tequila do, so that is, that's your strength, and that's my weakness. And I love listening to you because you make it easy for me to follow and understand. You got that way about you. You really know your stuff, and you should have been a manager. I think in another lifetime you would be the manager of Spurs. Tequila. Then we went to Man City. Now I think every man in his dog said Man City were going to win. I was the only one that said, well, a few of us, me being included, said we were going to win. I think even you looked at me and laughed. Thought, Dermo, stop taking the Bob Martens, man. Just stop taking the Bob Martens. Like, lay off them. You're getting a bit deluded here. How impressed were you with the game on Saturday, Tequila, with Spurs on Saturday?
I was more impressed with the manager than anything else, because I think it's his tactics that increased our chances. I think you got to remember there's two teams who play every game, and City had a very bad game. So I don't want to jump too much into it, and we also seem to do well. Us always doing well against City is a weird one. There's no real rhyme or reason for that. We just do. No matter what the manager is, whether it's Frank or if it's Ange, and even before that, we just have a good record against them. I couldn't tell you why. There's no rhyme or reason behind it. We just do. Like Chelsea always seem to beat us, no matter who their manager is and who our manager is. Chelsea always beat us. Why? I don't know. They just do. Right? So it's one of those things, but it was a combination of Frank getting the most out of his players and then being well coached, which is what Frank can do, and Man City not being a team, at least I thought they were probably going to be. Again, I'm not going to write them off after one game, but they don't look that great right now. So you put them both together, and this is how you get the result. Yeah.
Do you think, James, we stopped them playing?
Absolutely.
Do you think we didn't give City the chance to express themselves? You look at Palhinha, you look at Johnson, you look at Kudus, you look at Bentancur. And where I would agree with James, you don't write, I would Tequila, you're not going to write Man City off, but there is something not right there. I've got a question for you, Tequila, on that. So give me 2 minutes and we'll get back to you. James, tactics-wise, why did we stop Man City from playing?
Because Thomas Frank looked at the Man City team, looked at where the threat was, and said, right, boys, this is what I want from you. Now, I know we've talked briefly about this game before, and I gave you my opinion on it. And what this, to me, was, watching this game, this was a team, and I say that because, and I mean that, a team of players, and every single one of them knew what their responsibilities were, knew what they had to do and when they had to do it, were the first to every sloppy and second ball. And we, from moment one, we pressed and pressured and harried. And we did not stop until that full-time whistle blew.
Yeah.
And I watched, I like I said to you, Dermo, and I'll tell to everybody thinking, I watched a lot of the analysis of the game. I was working, I didn't see the full game, so I was just blessed with having to dig around, finding the analysis of the games, looking at everything, looking at the stats, looking at how the highlights of the game and picking it apart. And Jamie Carragher said something, and he was breaking down the Spurs Man City game, and he said how Spurs played was very, very brave, and we were very brave. And one thing that I actually agreed with him, and like I say, looking at the highlights and that, and I was like, when you looked when we were pressing Manchester City, the whole team pressed together. It wasn't just 2 or 3 players pressing and gaps, and then Man City being able to play through the lines. We pressed, and we all pressed. I mean, at one point, Romero was pressing Erling Haaland halfway into their own half.
I know.
I mean, what is a central defender doing pressing so high up? Because that would scream lunacy to me, but it worked and it got us the job done. Romero was pressing, Van de Ven was pressing, and the two players that were actually sitting deeper than anybody was Porro and Spence. Our flying wingbacks were sat behind Romero and Van de Ven. You had Paulinho, who just cleaned everything up. It was like the man was like a magnet for that ball. Everything just, it was like hoovering stuff up. Sarr was really good in the number 10 role. Bentancur having, I think, someone who we could trust and know that they were going to be there picking up the pieces in Paulinho, gave him the ability to basically get his head up. Where can I play? Where can I look for this pass? Really well. Kudus just caused absolute havoc down that right-hand side. He didn't get a goal, but he got, I think, was it 2 assists? Did he assist both?
Yeah, he assisted the first one.
The first one, yeah.
The second one? I think no. Who assists the second one then?
Who assisted Palhinha? Was it Paulinho's? But it just came out and he just fired the thunderbolt. I think he assisted Johnson's, wasn't it? And it was kind of just like
wasn't it like Trafford? He made a he bungled it, didn't he?
Yeah, and Paulinho just latched onto it and buried it. That was it, yeah. But like I say, we pressed so high. And now I know that is what our former manager wanted out of our players, to press high, to run and run and run and run. But what I think the difference between Thomas Frank's version of pressing high and run and run and run and Ange Postecoglou's version of pressing high and run and run and run and run is that we weren't stuck to playing a certain way. We weren't stuck to playing out from the back every time and putting ourselves into pressure. If the pressure came from Man City, okay, let's play direct. Let's play a longer ball. Porro playing the longer balls. Van de Ven, Romero playing the longer ball, bypassing our midfield and playing the longer balls up to Richie and Kudus to be able to then take the ball down and then bring in the midfield of Paulinho, Bentancur and Sarr and playing through Manchester City's lines like they weren't there. We bypassed their lines numerous times. I was very surprised, but it finished 2-0. I thought it could have easily been 3 or 4-0 to Spurs. But it was a great game, and Thomas Frank knew and understood where the danger was in the Man City team. And what he did was he nullified it. He told the boys, this is what we need to do. To stop Man City, we need to stop this. And what the boys did is they went out and they executed a masterclass game plan. And there's not really much more I can say about it.
No, it is. I mean, we all picked Haaland to be our star striker. He was useless on the weekend. He was absolutely brutal. I don't think Haaland's this almighty player that everyone thinks he is. I think he's a bully. That all he can do is just score goals. Apart from that, it doesn't know what to do. Guys, look, just give you a quick update before we finish up. Still 2-0 Grimsby with 63 minutes gone. So, I mean, Tequila, just very quickly, we're going to end the show how we started it. We've got a question then from Mick Harris at the very end. Tequila, me and James were talking about Isaac and the Newcastle situation. You are the Simon Jordan of this channel. That's how we see you. He was saying that if he was chairman, he would have told his player to get on with it, get off his backside and play for the football club. We pay your wages, as James said earlier, rightly so. What's your opinion on it, especially with deadline day coming up? Who's been painted more into a corner? Is it Liverpool or Isaac's been painted into a corner here, pushed into a corner?
Well, without being obviously in the boardroom, we don't know if these quote-unquote promises to Isaac were real. Yeah. Newcastle, of course, they say otherwise. Isaac says they were. Was it maybe the former chairperson who made these promises? I think I can easily see that most likely is probably what happened. But the new owners are not under any obligation. Morally, you could say that maybe they should, but they're not under any of the. That's just morally. They're not under any obligation. They can easily just say, look, well, that wasn't us. You should, that wasn't us. It's a new regime now. So but I think they have to sell him though. I think if Liverpool do come with another bid, which is what is rumoured they're going to do, I think Liverpool will offer a bit more, and I can still see him going. Because if they don't let him go, even if he has a half decent season, he probably won't hit the heights of what he did before because his mind is just not going to be in it as much. I'm not saying he's going to be a disaster, right? He's still a very talented player, but he's probably not going to be in it. The mental aspect of the game is not going to be in it for him, so he probably won't recreate the form. So that means next year he'll have 1 year less on his contract. That will cut the value down, and his season won't be as good. That will cut the value down. So it will just be like next year, and then you'll have another team probably come in next year, maybe offer 80 or 90. You might as well just take the 120 now, if that's what Liverpool are willing to pay.
Yeah, I agree. James, just very quickly on this, he did sign a 6-year contract. Then is his agent at fault then for making him sign this long-term contract? And they didn't put a buyout clause within that contract. So should the blame really be on his agent?
Maybe his agent and the player did want a buyout clause, and maybe Newcastle didn't want one inserted in there. Because a club can deny a buyout clause. You can say no, we're not putting one in there. So, look, I think Newcastle need to cut bait. They need to get rid. How they do it is anyone's guess. But if I was Liverpool, I would maybe go back in and say, look, we'll give you one more shot. We'll give you 100 million, and this is the last sort of offer. I know they've offered Newcastle. There's rumours of 120, but if I'm Liverpool, I'm thinking we'll give you 100 million because we know now that they're going to probably be desperate. I just want to quickly answer Rick's.
Yeah, I've started. I'm coming to it now. You've just beat me to it. I was just coming to it now. So this is the last question on the show, and then I will end up there. Guys, what do you reckon? Are we going to get anyone in before transfer window closes on Monday? Because we are really short, in my opinion. I'm going to be optimistic and go for... I reckon we're going to get 2 in before the end of the window. And that's just me being deluded and absolutely off my rocker as Tequila sits there and laughs his head off at me.
Not at all.
Yeah, you know I'm deluded. So I'm going for 2.
I'm going to question what you said in a second, but I wouldn't say you're deluded. I just need you to clarify a couple of things after you speak to James.
Okay. James, you know more than we do. You're our sort of man in the know, the man that gets around places.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I've got my fingers in a lot of pies.
What sort of pies?
It's got to be apple and blackberry.
I was more like chicken and mushroom.
Pie.
Chicken and mushroom.
Pucker pies. That's what you want to do. Pucker pies.
Do you know what I found today, guys, for the first time here in Ireland, and I haven't had one in years, is a Cornish pasty. My local shop made 2 Cornish pasties.
Now you see, is it a proper Cornish pasty, or is it just one of these things that say it's a Cornish pasty, but it's not?
It's an Irish Cornish pasty.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like I say, don't mention him to my wife. Jesus Christ! But what the shop sells are not Cornish pasties, according to her. So, but yeah, players. What do I think? What do I reckon? I'm probably going to be public enemy number 1 here, and I'm going to tell you that my opinion is: how many players are we going to sign? Not. I don't think we'll get anybody. The club smells of desperation. Clubs are wanging millions and millions extra on players because they know how desperate we are. Daniel Levy will not pay it. We won't sign anybody.
There you go.
But Please tune into us deadline day show because it's going to be crazy.
You got.
I might be wrong.
You got to sell it, James. You need, even if you don't feel that way, you got to say, yeah, they're going to sign 3 or 4 players.
Yeah. I just tell you, we've got the Isaac deal to go by. We've got that drama all day. That might keep us going.
4 or 5 players. I would like 4 or 5 players to come in.
And me and James are putting in the shift on Monday. James is doing the 9 to 10 shift, and then me and James are on from 2 o'clock Monday afternoon all the way to 8, and then I'm going to do the 10 to 11 shift to catch the European end of the window. And I have Luke on with me. Then the one that we had on before Tequila, the nice lad, the one you liked.
Cool.
Yeah. Right. You wanted to question about this.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, it's like, so Dermo, when you say 2 players, you didn't say 2 good players. You just said 2 players.
Yeah, I'll take anyone now.
So,
I'm desperate.
I think there's a good chance we'll sign 3 players. I don't think we'll sign 3 good players. I think what best we'll sign 3 average players, probably of a younger age. I can so see the chap from Leicester, and I've got nothing against the chap from Leicester. I can so see us signing him on deadline day as the manager replacement, which of course he will never be able to probably live up to. But that's such a thing I think is going to happen. That player is going to sign for Spurs on transfer deadline day.
L something, isn't it?
Yeah,
El Kaminudu.
It reeks of it. He's young. Yeah. You can probably get a good price for him in a couple of years, unless he completely stinks out the joint, which he probably won't. He's an okay player. He's not probably a top 4 player, and he's from a relegated team, and we'll get a good deal. You tell me that's not Daniel Levy all over?
I just got a break. No, it was 3-0, but he's offside. It's still 2-0. Grimsby scored a cracking goal, but it's been called offside. Look, how would you guys feel very quickly? And this is a yes or no question. Garnacho and Højlund from Manchester United.
Garnacho and Højlund?
Yeah.
Well, Garnacho's agreed terms with Chelsea. They're just waiting, finalising deals with that. As far as I'm aware, Højlund's going abroad.
Going back to
but if we could get them, and mainly as well, no.
I'd take Garnacho. I'd take Garnacho. Only because I think he can cover 2 positions. Because I still think we need a left back. It's just not the priority, but I still think that we could use
the help with Romero as well might help, with him being Argentinian, and you got the South American sort of people in the club. Do you think that might help if he did come to Tottenham? I'm not saying he is, but do you think
maybe? I mean, we don't know if they're friends or not. They could be friends. If they're friends, then yeah. But just because they're the same country, then it doesn't mean that they're going to. No,
that's true. That's true.
Me and Tequila are from the same country, and I won't consider him a friend.
Exactly.
I'm from another country, and you two just I don't know.
You tolerate,
You tolerate me. That's about it, I think. Oh God, it's that Irish idiot again. He's on again. Hello guys, how are you doing? I'm back on again. How are you keeping? Right, we've got Yid Kid 1882. I like that name, Yid Kid 1882. Big up to Rick. I think he came in last night, subscribed. So welcome to the channel, sir. Big up to you, and welcome to us, and I hope you enjoyed the content that we bring. Last comment of the show, Yid Kid 1882. Tottenham recruitment, absolutely terrible. Always a mess around. Me and James and the kid will talk about that. Oh, we will talk about Monday, who's ever on, and then wouldn't take any of them. They're all shite. There you go. I mean that should sum up the whole Tottenham transfer window.
Yeah, I mean we've spoke about it previously, Dermot, and I just want to throw some other figures out there for the guys in the chat and that. So when we look at Daniel Levy's promise of we want to win the Premier League, we want to win the Champions League, Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, all spent over £200 million each.
Yeah.
And that's spending with not really accumulating much back from player sales, mind you. Spurs net transfer spend this season, 17 million net transfer spend is 17 million. And if Bissouma goes to Galatasaray, our net transfer spend will be £5 million.
Oh, lovely. We've got a nice long day ahead of us on Monday.
I'm actually a little bit surprised that people. I'm just reading Rick's comment in the chat. I'm really surprised you think that Lever won't bring any win. He 100% will. It's just the quality of the person he's going to bring in. They will get. I reckon they'll get at least 2 players. I reckon they will get a left winger and they will get a number 10. But they will not be of anywhere near the quality required for the job they're going to be asked of them. Or Thomas Frank is going to be asked to do. So.
United have got one back. It's 2-1 now. And who is it? Membio?
Buemo.
Yeah, he scored his first goal for Manchester United. Do you know what, Tequila? I think, do you know what? You, me, James are going to be on that day. Do you know what? I'm going to get 10 to 7 at night, and we're going to get Tottenham have got 2 players, but it's gone into extra time. Do you know that?
I'm looking into my crystal ball. I can see me, you, and James. If I can come on, I'll do my best. Depends what meds I'm on. I can see the player from Leicester. I can never pronounce his name. 100% is signing. I'm so convinced that is the signing that we'll get. That is our number 10 replacement. This is the guy who's going to be taking over from Maddison this year. Is everyone okay with that? I bet you there's not many. I got nothing against the kid, by the way. He could be a lovely guy, and he's not a terrible player. But there's levels to this.
It's not the level we need, is it? But look, big up to David. Is it Crick? Is that his surname?
Yeah, David Crick. Yeah.
Evening, lads. New to the stream. Just subscribe. Well, thank you very much, sir. You're very kind. Really appreciated. This window's a write-off, but I'll take Lookman and Rabbit to soften the blow in Rabiot. Thank you. I'm useless when if you just I'm.
Don't mate, please just call him. Just call if we were somehow to sign him. I look forward to you just calling him Rabbit.
Yeah. Yeah,
and you know it's going to happen. So
look, I have called somebody Zimbabwe in the watch along.
Well, that's what I mean. If he signs for us, Dermo, he's going to be Rabbit. I know he's going to be Rabbit, bless you.
You know what? Nobody actually told me I was calling somebody Zimbabwe for the whole first half. Hello, is that a rabbit's foot?
No, that was my dog's foot. He just stuck his leg on. Oh, there you go.
Right. Well, can I just say on that bombshell, I think we should leave it there. I'm on again in about half an hour, guys, with the 3rd round draw for the League Cup. Who would Tottenham get? Oh, it's nervy times. But James, where can people find you, sir?
I'm going to be back on here a lot more now, guys. I promise you. I am going to even my work schedule out and get myself more on here. But if you want to send me messages, you want to be in touch, keep them kind, keep them nice. But I am at THFC James on X. I will do my best to respond to every message. Hit me a like, hit me a follow. I do try to keep as much news posted that I get about Spurs' news and transfer news. Anthony, I know you're late to the show. We didn't really sort of touch on transfers tonight. We were more tactics and everything like that. Hopefully, at some point this week, Dermo will be able to give you an update on transfers that are going to be happening. But as it stands at the moment, the Savio deal is off. Bissouma's going to Galatasaray, and Luka Vuskovic is going to Hamburg on loan. We're looking at Xavi Simons, but he is leaning more towards Chelsea, and that's about it, really.
And we will be streaming live on James's X once we can sort that in the next week or so. So any future streams will be streamed on there as well. So they're streamed on our main X account and also on James's X account as well. Tequila, I know people can find you on here, the voice and reason of this channel. I can't wait to do some Ireland games with you, Tequila. That's going to be fun with you and James, watching the mighty Ireland qualify for a World Cup.
I'm not sure that's going to happen then, mate, but bless you.
I'm sure you two will be covering England's World Cup glory.
Do we have to, James? Do we have to cover England? Do we have to cover England, do we?
I'd sooner just pick a team out of a hat and
Yeah.
maybe cover
See?
them.
Come and watch Ireland with me. Just come and watch Ireland. You're going to have much more fun. You really will. You'll have much more fun. And you'll watch a team that might not qualify for a World Cup, but you will be entertained. You will be entertained by the Irish. No question about that.
Only if Kenny was back in charge, just to see your reaction.
You know what? He's actually doing quite well in Irish soccer. I think he's manager of Sherburns at the moment.
There you
or
go.
St.
Get
Patrick.
him back, Dermot. How would you feel if they got him back? Would you rejoice?
I would refuse to watch Ireland again. I'll go and boycott again.
Dermo, here's a question to end the show, man. How would you feel if you became Spurs manager?
I'll cry. But Tequila, very quickly, where can people find you? I know they can find you on here, bud, but where else can people find you? Sir?
I've got a gaming channel called The Play Pouch, which is a bunch of middle-aged morons. Oh, did I say that? Yeah, middle-aged morons. And Com, who is a moron but not quite middle-aged, bless him.
You didn't say it, by the way.
No. And we just cover gaming shows and do some Let's Plays. But unfortunately for me, I am out of action for a little while. I'll appear where I can, just on YouTube in general. But because of what I'm going for at the minute, it's going to be difficult for the next month. Hopefully after that, I'll be okay. But I'll appear when I can overall on YouTube. But I am going to be taking a little bit of a reduced role until I feel better, unfortunately for me.
Now, tonight, we're going to cover the League Cup draw, which is at 10:15. There's the Play Pouch.
Is that you, T?
Cheers, James. Yeah, mate, that's it. The Play Pouch, yeah.
Well, just so you can see, mate, I am subscribed.
I believe you, mate. We appreciate it. We do. We appreciate everyone who does it.
I have done and hit that notification bell as well, like I do. It comes up. Tomorrow at 5:00, we got the Champions League draw, and then we got the show at 8 talking about the Champions League draw and any news that's going around. But guys, I'm going to go off, take a short toilet break, get myself a drink, get myself ready for 10:00 to go back live again and talk about the League Cup as Spurs find out who they get. Thank you so much, James, for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Tequila, for coming on. A lovely surprise.
No worries,
and
mate.
as always, keep it right. Keep it Tottenham. We are your number one Spurs channel. We're going to be your number one Irish Spurs channel. And that is what we're going to be. But Tequila, he always takes us out. Take us out, lad.
I'll see if I can do it in my throat. Okay. It's just who we are, mate.
Yeah.
Good night. And happy birthday, Anne. She's 60 today. Happy birthday. Should we sing Tequila happy birthday?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy I'm happy that he's healthy.
Yeah.
I'm happy that he's healthy for him and his family.
Yeah.
I'm being as PC as I can, Dermo.
I know. See you later. Good night.
Eyes on the fire.